When you get higher and higher on the levels, it becomes harder. The Spiral Abyss, one of the most challenging parts of Genshin Impact, and today I'll be giving you guys a guide on how to complete Floor 9. For the first half of Floor 9, I use Fischl, the main character or traveler, Noelle, and Lisa, and then for the second half, I use Changling, Kaya, Barbara, and Amber. Now for this guide, I'll be using all these characters for the whole floor, and you can actually switch out your characters if you want. When I first completed this, I actually switched out my characters to the opposite, where I have Chingling on the first half and then Fischl on the second half. It is possible to do it with this type of lineup, but with the current lineup, it would be a bit harder. So in the beginning, I wanted to line up all these slimes to get them in a tornado, so I could actually get this overloaded damage, which would do a ton of damage against these slimes and almost kill them. After they did land, I would use all my ults like Lisa ult, I would use my Noelle ult, and just bring out everything just so I can recharge it later on. But Noelle actually does so much damage against all these slimes because she can attack more than one slime at a time, and each of her attacks does 1,000+ damage, which is a ton against these slimes. And the pattern I was going for was just using Fischl for attacking these slimes one by one, doing 1,000+ damage, and I would occasionally use my traveler character to line them all up and get him in a swirl together when he uses E, which does a ton of damage as well. And then when I had my traveler's ult ready, I actually lined them all up again like I did in the beginning, and I did the same pattern like I explained earlier. But for this half, I actually just went for the Pyro Slimes first, just because while my Changling's ult was going around this Pyro Nado, it was going around attacking all the Electro Slimes and killing them. So if I could do a good amount of damage against the Pyro Slimes before I went against them when all the Electro Slimes died, then I would be in a better position to actually kill the Pyro Slimes later on.
前って本当おとなしくしやがる。
熱々でしょ。
これ
みんなを守るからね。いやほっよっ。
So for this half, I would keep track when I had my E ready for my official and for my traveler, and I would try to use them both at the same time. For those that didn't already know, you could actually mix up official's E and traveler's E to actually create this electric tornado, and it would do more damage than it would when you actually use traveler's E regularly. For the best approach on this half, I would say to go for the enemies that actually threw the bottles, the fire bottles or the electric bottles, because they could be a nuisance when they actually hit you with it, and it would do a lot of damage against you. So always going for those enemies that threw the bottles would be the best way to completing this half.
助けが必要な怪我の重さは安心できます。
逃げ場はないぞ。くらえらえ。しびれるぞ。
姿を見、火の声掛けに気をつけます。
相手を間違えた。
姿を見せよ、オンズ。怪我の重さは安心できます。
風と共に去れ。
チャンスだ。お嬢様の仰せのままに。撤退だ。くらえ。しびれるぞ。引くぞ。
私は
早く投降し。
散財の名に戦場のお掃除の時間です。散財の名において散財の名に任せてください。
So after killing those treasure hoarders, you do go to the second half of chamber 2, and as you guys can see, I do use Changling's ult, Chamber's ult, and then the Gooba attack against this Syro Gunner, because this Syro Gunner actually brings out this icicle that traps you, and it would do a lot of damage against your characters. So killing that Syro Gunner right away does make this floor a bit easier. And something I did actually mess up was I didn't kill the Geo dude after, because the Geo dude actually brings out a Geo shield that I had nothing for. I had to just kill him with physical attacks, and I had to do little damage at a time. So if I killed the Cyro Gunner and the Geo enemy before it brought up his shield, I probably would have completed the half faster, but I still did complete that chamber with 2 stars.
雨のような師匠の技を食らいなさい。
おとなしくしやがって。
みんなをバーバラ料理ね。
これこの瞬間お前これ
ロバーえい
聞いたみたいこれ
それはそれや
まずはこれをおとなしくしやがって。
Now for floor 9 chamber 3, the first half, and I could say that this is one of the hardest parts of the floor just because there is this blazing axe hilichurl that does bring out this geo shield that I had to knock out first with Noelle, and using Noelle's ult actually takes it out really fast, but this big hilichurl does take so much damage. He's a very tanky character. And then we do have the Sonic the Hedgehog guy. He's always just constantly just rolling around, just popping out of nowhere, but periodically there would be these waves of rocks just coming at you, and if you do not have Noelle's shield or the shields that they do give around the map, these rocks can kill you so easily that I had to just keep on looking for shields and just trying to avoid them or trying to dodge them just because I would always die whenever they attacked me. What I did for the first half of the chamber was to actually use Fischl's E and Traveler's E and just keep on mashing those together and do the most amount of damage I could against the Blazing Axe hilichurl. I would recommend actually killing the Sonic the Hedgehog just because he is a nuisance, like I said, when he is roaming around the map and just popping out of nowhere and sometimes killing you. But good luck with this first half of this chamber. Chamber 3 second half, I used Amber to stun these ruin guards just so they could actually go on the floor, and I would just unleash everything on them. I would use my Amber ult, I would use my Chingling ult, I would use my Kaya ult, I would use anything on them just to kill them because there were only 2 ruin guards on the second half, but I did want to complete this as fast as I can just so I could get those 3 stars or 2 stars. Now, like I mentioned before, if you do reach the second half with no bow characters or any characters that do stun these ruin guards, it definitely would be a lot harder, and I would recommend switching out your lineup to actually have a character that does have a bow, but I could still see it being possible with other characters that can do other elemental reactions. These rune guards are pretty slow and they do pattern of attacks that are obvious, so if you cannot stun these rune guards, then you might as well dodge the attacks and kill them when you can.
これ こいつはどう
5番ミュージックバーバラ行くよ。えい。話が通じないなら
風邪ひくなよこいつはどう
よっ雨のような
これ
やっよいしょ。
おとなしくし
ミュージックウサギ吐きよいしょ。それはっやっはっ
こいつはどうだ
熱々でしょ。やっやっ
すまんおとなしくしやがれ
話が通じないならはい百発百中。それ
That is how you complete floor 9. Now, I could say that this is one of the harder floors when it came to the Spiral Abyss, just because I'm on floor 10 currently, and I am stuck on it, but I would appreciate any feedback you guys give on how to complete these floors, just because this is the first time actually doing it, and I did try my best to explain on what I did for the floor and the chambers. Maybe you guys could have a similar lineup to actually copy my style of play and complete the floor, but I would appreciate if you guys could like the video, and yeah, that's pretty much it guys, so see ya.